Hi, I'm Jason Rivas with Phoenix Flame and Bridget's Well. I've been a Reiki Master teacher for over 10 years, and in that time I've been asked a lot of questions about Reiki. What I thought I'd do today is answer the top 5 questions that I've been asked by people who are interested in taking Reiki training. Question number 1. What is Reiki? Reiki is a type of energy healing that involves the laying on of hands through which the practitioner channels universal life force energy into their client for healing purposes. The International Center for Reiki Training goes on to describe it as a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It was founded by Dr. Mikao Usui in 1922 in Japan. And the name Reiki actually is made up of 2 words, Rei and Ki. Rei has generally been translated to mean spiritual wisdom, higher power, or God. Ki is life force energy, which you might be familiar with from other cultures where they know it as Chi or Prana, or if you're a Star Wars fan, you might know it as the Force. It operates on the idea that in order for us to have abundant health, we need to have an abundance of free-flowing Ki throughout our body. During a Reiki session, what a Reiki practitioner does is channels this flow of universal life force energy. And the energy itself is actually guided by the spiritual wisdom. And so it goes to exactly where it needs to go. But what happens is it works on correcting any blockages that may have occurred in the flow of Qi so that we can again return to a state of abundant health. Question number 2. Will I be able to learn Reiki? Absolutely. That's one of the things that I love about Reiki is that anyone can learn. You don't have to have spent an entire lifetime in spiritual pursuits. You could be an everyday person, come in for the Reiki class, and over the course of a weekend, be connected to this powerful and simple system of energy healing. Question number 3. Will I be certified? After completing the 2-day training with me, you will receive a certificate stating that you've successfully finished your training for Reiki I and Reiki II. This certificate will allow you to use the title of Reiki Practitioner. Now, I think that buried within that question is whether or not you will be licensed to practice Reiki. And the answer to that is no, but that's only because there is actually no national or state licensing for the practice of Reiki. One of the reasons that practices are licensed, such as acupuncture or medicine, is because they have the potential to do harm. And with Reiki, you can't actually do harm, so it's actually to our benefit that we don't have a licensing board. I do recommend that you check with your local city government to see if you need any sort of permit to do Reiki, because some counties and cities will actually lump Reiki in with massage, and so you might need to have a license to do massage in order to do Reiki there. However, in California, there is the California Health Freedom Act, which it's actually a state bill which allows Reiki practitioners to practice. The important thing is that you don't want to give the impression that you are offering any sort of medical practice, because that is something outside of the scope of what the class teaches, and unless you already have a license to practice medicine, this class won't allow you to do that. Question number 4. What if I don't want to open a Reiki practice? Believe it or not, the number of people who take a Reiki class with the intention of opening a Reiki practice is pretty small. What happens is most of the time people will find a Reiki class because either they've had experienced benefit from a Reiki session or know someone who has and would like to get the benefits of having the Reiki energy flowing through them to improve their own life, or to use Reiki on a loved one who may be ill or in some other way needs a life improvement. As you work with the Reiki energy, you may find that opening a practice is something that you want to do. And I always cover at least a bare minimum of information about running your own Reiki practice during my Reiki 1 and 2 training. So while that's not the focus of the class, that information is there so that down the road, if you do want to open a Reiki practice, you'll have the information to do that. Question number 5. Do I have to make any special preparations to take the class? The simple answer to that is no, because anyone can learn Reiki regardless of experience, regardless of lifestyle, regardless of age or gender. What I will say is that because the class focuses on interacting with the subtle energy bodies, it's advisable, but not required, that you eat foods that are of a higher vibration. So basically nothing that's highly processed, no fast food, and even if you can reduce the amount of meat temporarily, that would be fantastic. But again, you will be able to successfully become a Reiki practitioner even if you make no preparations for the class at all. The only thing that will be affected is your ability to initially perceive the energy. But because working with Reiki energy, I think of as like a muscle, the more you use it, the better you will be able to experience the energy itself. And so while it will be helpful in the beginning, eventually you will be able to feel it. And I actually have found for myself that some of the most powerful Reiki sessions that I've given have been when I haven't particularly felt the energy flowing through myself. That's why I always recommend that after any session, you always check in with your client to make sure that they are experiencing the Reiki healing. So those were the top 5 questions that I get asked by people thinking about becoming a Reiki practitioner. I hope that you found the information useful, and if you have any additional questions or if you're interested in becoming a Reiki practitioner, please feel free to email me at jason@flameandwell.com, or you can visit my website at flameandwell.com. Thanks, and I hope that you have an amazing day.